Whoa, crazy. Ah, pigeons. Ah, the heck. They just descended upon me. Today, we're going to go on a secret journey through the subway system looking at secret doors and windows. Let's start here at Times Plaza Control House. Currently, it's a hangout favored by pigeons. Formerly, Times Plaza, not Atlantic Terminal. This used to be the door for this whole Atlantic Avenue station when it was built in 1908. Now it's a skylight for the passage below, and it hides a secret. You see this plaque right here? If you look under it through this peephole, and you see, well, you see sort of outline of stairs, but that view through the peephole here is terrible. Let's go underground and get a better look. When the station was redesigned in 2004, there was an architect and artistic collaboration with 3 different segments called Hook, Line, and Sinker. This part of the installation is called Line Sea House because it's right in the passageway that connects the formerly separated stations of Atlantic Avenue and Pacific Street. And we look up, and there's the massive steel boat-like structure hanging above, the ocean of travelers passing underneath it. The street-level kiosk is one of my favorite historical structures in this part of New York City, but I didn't notice until recently it had been made into a skylight. And I didn't really notice the fairly useless peephole. But even though that kiosk is no longer a door, that peephole counts as a window and a subway secret. Next, let's visit a neat little window that 2 completely separate agencies share. Here on the 2-3 platform at Atlantic Avenue, operated by the New York City Transit Authority, you can see through this neat brick window installation right into the tracks 5 and 6 of the Long Island Railroad Atlantic Terminal Station. Though Long Island Railroad and New York City Transit Authority are under the umbrella corporation of MTA, they notoriously don't play nice together. You can't pay for LIRR using Omni, and there's no free transfer to the subway from LIRR trains. Sometimes they cross honor, but that's only when things in the system get really messed up, not just the normal amount of messed up. I'm including this little window because I recently saw a YouTube video with 10 facts about the subway, and it mentioned that there was a planned, more direct transfer between this platform and the LIRR that never happened. But 1, I can't find the video, so if it was your video, leave a link below and I'll credit you in the description. And 2, I can't find any documentation to back up that claim. So if you have references, please do share. Let's go on to Manhattan. And on the way, let's take a look from the B train here at this little bonus. Shout out to subscriber P1 Mason. They point out that this little abandoned platform extension of the Dekalb Avenue southbound platform was built because the station had to accommodate longer trains. So they had to extend the southbound platform south, not north. During a subsequent station renovation, they extended the southbound platform back northward, leaving this bit of abandoned platform. This is Astor Place, one of the original 28 New York City subway stops. It's old. We're about to put just how old into perspective here. We gotta exit the system. There's no crossover. We gotta go to the southbound platform to see. Over this bricked up doorway here on the southbound entrance, it says Clinton Hall. Clinton Hall was the name for the New York Mercantile Library at 13 Astor Place. They used it until 1890, then tore down the building that was there, the Astor Opera House, and built the current standing structure, which the library used until 1932. And this door dates back to 1904, when, because of its importance, the library was given a direct doorway into the subway when it was built. Forgotten New York says the staircase was likely bricked up in the 1940s. Now the building is just some schmancy NYC condos. Here's a fun fact about the Astor Opera House that once stood here, though. It was the site of the 1849 Shakespeare riots, fought between anti-British supporters of the American actor Edwin Forrest and wealthy patrons of the English actor William Macready. I say, have at you. Hey, yo, I'm acting here. 20 people were killed when the 7th Regiment National Guard fired on the rioters. The incident was so bad that it led to New York City's first armed police force. Crazy, right? That's a story for a different channel to tell, though, not mine. Yep, this is about secret subway doors, and I'm about to show you a real good one here at South Ferry. After you pass the turnstile, you'll see this door, where somebody wrote in Sharpie, BMS Room, Old Loop. And on the other side, exactly as advertised, the Old South Ferry Station. Man, it's been a minute since I've been to the South Ferry Station. Everybody on this day, including me, gained access to it by purchasing nostalgia ride tickets from the New York Transit Museum. Amazing museum. become a member like me, become a member. But you might catch your own glimpse of the Old South Ferry station on weekends. Just ride the 5 train as it loops through here to turn around and go back toward the Bronx. This station was opened in 1908 and it's quite unique. It's a tight loop that turns trains back northward, hence the platform extenders here. But it was only built to accommodate trains of up to 5 cars, so when trains became longer, if strap hangers wanted to get off here, they had to be in the first 5 cars. So it was closed in 2009 to make way for the Whitehall Street South Ferry station that's currently here. But Hurricane Sandy flooded the new station in 2012, and the old South Ferry station here was brought back into service and decommissioned again in March 2017 when repairs were complete. But that's what makes it unique. I'm kind of hesitant to leave the South Ferry station. It's so nice. It's the only original station in the whole system that has been decommissioned and recommissioned. All right, who wants to go to Times Square with me? No? Too bad. At the entrance of this Times Square shuttle platform, you'll find a door with the word Knickerbocker over it that looks kind of like the Clinton Hall signage. The door itself looks like just another MTA utility room, but it used to, and maybe still does, lead to John Jacob Astor's Knickerbocker Hotel. There's that name again, Astor.
But of course, 'tis to be expected. I was once the wealthiest man in New York. I used my millions to build the Knickerbocker Hotel in 1906, and it was, dare I say, magnificent. Everything one would expect of a luxurious hotel that was definitely not built by a Nepo baby.
When Astor died on the Titanic...
Wait, what? Glug, glug, bleh.
His son took over.
Daddy! Daddy! Where did you go, Daddy?
But then business plummeted during Prohibition, and the building was converted into offices.
Oh dear, I've broken Daddy's favorite brothel.
But in 2015, the hotel reopened, so let's see if they reopen this entrance too. Lame. I didn't want to go to the hotel anyway. I have an idea. Let's take a trolley to Queens. Behind me is the entrance, the door, if you will, to the Queensboro Bridge Railway Terminal, or at least it used to be. The very last trolley line in the entire city operated from right here. While the entire Queens streetcar network was pretty much abandoned in 1939,
the privately owned Queensboro Bridge trolley continued to soldier on. From Queens Plaza on Long Island to 2nd Avenue in Manhattan, it ran only a couple of miles, but what a ride.
And that's because back then, it was the only way to get to Welfare Island, now called Roosevelt Island. There was a trolley stop and corresponding elevator there to take you down to the island. But in 1954, they built the Welfare Island Bridge, and in 1957, the Queensboro Bridge Railway was finally eliminated. The outer lanes of the bridge were converted into auto lanes, and the underground terminal became garage space for city vehicles. Boo! Now this poor dented kiosk is just a victim of bad drivers, probably why they put the bars up around it, and the last surviving bridge streetcar is rotting away at the Trolley Museum in Kingston, New York. The funny thing is, this kiosk was scheduled to be removed way back in 2003. Yet I'm standing here 20 years later, and there it is. Classic New York City, am I right? Fun fact, the Roosevelt Island tram was made to replace that. Okay, now let's go to Queens. I guess we'll take the train. This is Jamaica Van Wick. No, not Van Wick Boulevard. Not Jamaica Station. Not Jamaica Center, Parsons Archer. Jamaica Van Wick. You can remember it because it has Jamaica in the name. Silly MTA station naming. And here I also stumbled onto another big bonus secret for me. This work train is an R42 rolling stock. These were retired from passenger service in February 2020, just before the pandemic hit the city. I was on that ride, check it out on the main channel. But here's why I'm actually kind of excited. I've never seen a roll sign display the V train before. The V used to run along the F line from 2nd Avenue in Manhattan to 71st Street in Queens, and it only existed between December 2001 and June 2010, at which point it was combined into the M train to make the current Queens to Queens M route we know right now. I love seeing these old roll signs on trains taken out of revenue service. Looks like there's an R also. Anything else? Nothing on that one. Oh well, let's get back to talking about secret doors and windows. This is the youngest of all the stations we visited today, opening for revenue service December 11th, 1988. So it's got a style pretty unique in comparison. For example, the mezzanine right there, it's suspended from the roof by these cables above the Jamaica-bound track. Speaking of the roof, this is why we're here. Over on the Manhattan-bound side, those are windows. Closed windows. I honestly don't know when they were closed or how long they've been closed, but for whatever reason, at some point the MTA was like, sunlight? Who needs it? This is a pretty nice station. Imagine if they would let it be a pretty sunlit station. Natural light is a rarity in the subway tunnels, which makes the closure of these windows that much more of a travesty. In fact, let's go up and see them from the outside. It doesn't look like it's accessible by foot, so I'm just going to go to the other side and see if I can get a zoomed in shot on it. Wow, you can kind of see where there's a doorway there, and you can see where they shuttered like everything for reasons. I don't even know why. And that's the roof. The roof of the station has seen better days. But anyway, that's that. One last quick bonus secret. This footage is from a previous episode, and big shout out to subscriber Charles Singleton for pointing it out. On a northbound R train looking east between the Bay Ridge Avenue and 59th Street stations, my camera caught this. This is the only spot in the entire length of the R line where the train comes above ground and sees daylight. Looking on Google Maps, it happens right about here as it passes above these rails. What do you suppose these rails are even doing here? Leave a comment, let me know. Maybe I'll cover it in a future episode of Explore the Urbans. But that's a wrap for this one. As always, remember, leave your cars at home. Take the New York City subway and explore all of its secrets. And please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, please.